So the first thing you want to do is you want to install the handle that goes on the side of the oven. So that's this handle right here. And so I will simply open up the front of the oven, and using a Phillips head screwdriver, the screws are pre-threaded and they come installed onto the handle. So you simply put the handle on the side and insert the screws through the oven body. And you tighten them using a regular Phillips head screwdriver. Now that the handle is installed, you can turn the oven on its side to extend the legs. They open up and they lock into place, and you'll notice that there are pads on the feet so they can be used on multiple table surfaces. I'm going to remove this bracket because we're going to install it onto the motor box later on. And now that the oven is on its legs, I'm going to install the front handles that go on the door. To do that, you simply use the wrench that came with your oven, and you'll remove the bolt, and you'll notice that there is a washer that is D-shaped. That stays on the outside of the oven door, and the locking washer and the bolt are on the inside. The most important thing here is to not over tighten, because these doors actually, the handles will slide in so that it's easy for you to transport the oven when you're taking it with you on trips, but you open it up when you want to open it. So you don't want it to be too tight so that the handle will turn. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. And again, you don't want it to be too tight, but you don't want it to be too loose. And the handles are now installed. Note that the coiled handles will actually remain cool while you're cooking. This is really the only part of the oven that you should ever touch when the oven is on, are the coiled handles. After that's done, I'm going to turn the oven back on its side to install the motor box. To install the motor box, you would take the drive shaft and you're going to insert it into the rotation system. You're going to take the motor box, which comes with the oven, and you're going to install the bracket onto the motor box and then onto the oven body. And now once that's done, put it back on its legs. The next step we're going to do is we're going to insert the carousel. To insert the carousel, you simply put it into the oven body, and you're going to line it up with the rotation system. Once that is done, you'll take your pizza stone. That comes in box 2, which includes the propane burner and the wood burner, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But you'll take your pizza stone and you'll insert that on top of the carousel, making sure that it lines up with the teeth of the carousel. And after the stone is inserted, you'll take your guide plate. And your guide plate simply snaps into the oven and rests inside. The next thing you'll do is install the chimney. The chimney comes in technically 3 parts because there is a cap that comes with the chimney as well. Once you've connected the parts together, arrows on the bottom of the chimney will guide you to line up the chimney on top of the oven. And then there is a cap. Technically, it only needs to be used when you're using the propane burner, but you can insert it on top of the chimney and it locks into place. One of the things that we advise you to do is to test your rotation system before you're going to make sure that it's working and before you're going to install any of the fuel sources. This cord comes with the pizza oven. I've got a battery bank here that I'm going to use to test, and I'll use it during operation. But you simply plug it in to the front of the power box, motor box, and then turn it on. And your rotation system is spinning. You want to make sure that your rotation system is spinning before you fire up your pizza oven, because that's not something you can do when your oven is under heat. You want to make sure your oven is cool when you do that. Now that I've confirmed that that's running, we're going to talk about your fuel options. To assemble the wood burner, there is a divider that comes inside the wood burner already. So just want to make you aware of that because it will rattle around. The first thing we're going to do is install the handle. Again, you'll see the coil which keeps it cool. This is the handle that gets installed on the wood burner door so that you can open and close the door as you're using the wood burner. So to install that, again, simply keep the washer on the inside of the door, so just the handle's on the outside, and you will use a Phillips head screwdriver if you want to give it an extra tighten. And now that that is attached, we're going to attach the bottom to the legs. So the leg, you'll see it's very clearly noted, the handle in one direction and then the back on the other. And so you will insert this and turn it this way. You'll notice that you want the wider leg to be underneath where the wood handle is. That gives it more balance. And then to attach it to the back of the oven, you'll make sure that the latch is out of the way, and you'll simply line it up with the opening on the back of the oven. And using the latch, you'll secure it to the back of the Scorpio. So that is the wood burner. For the propane burner, there are two things you'll need to do before you attach it to the back of your oven. The first thing you'll need to do is to install the knob that comes in the packaging, styrofoam that's in box number 1. And then secondly, not included in the packaging is a AA battery. You'll need to insert a AA battery into the igniter button so that you can turn on the propane burner. After that's done, you'll notice that this has 3 latches that you will use to secure onto the back of the oven. And so 1, 2, and then the third one is in the back. And then your propane burner is attached. It doesn't require a stand because it's light enough, it'll attach securely to the oven. And now your propane burner is attached to the Scorpio.